Right, so this is the third video. If you haven't already watched the first two videos that I've made before this one, then please go down to the description and I will link to them down there. Right, so this one is going to be all about my baby that's here now, Bethany, and how she is going and what my postpartum recovery is like. I'm going to talk about my labour and delivery and yeah, just things like that really. So first of all, let me see how the birth went. Okay, so I was 38 weeks and 3 days when she was born. Yeah, 38 weeks, 3 days. Okay, so on the, let's see, I can't remember the dates exactly. on the 4th of February, which was a Monday, I was 38 weeks one day. My water broke that night. I was actually eating dinner and with my husband, and we just finished, and I decided, okay, I'm just going to get up and just go to the bathroom. And as I got up, I felt something, and I was like, okay, it must be just the discharge, you know, normal discharge that you get at the end of pregnancy. And it gets quite heavy. Yeah, I thought it was that, and as I kept walking, I felt more and more and more, and I was like, oh no. So I literally sprinted to the bathroom, wide-legged, you know, sprinted to the bathroom. So I got there. When I pulled down my pants and sat on the toilet, it was just gushing, like it was a waterfall. It just gushed and gushed and gushed and gushed, and my pants and everything were absolutely soaked. Like everything was just wet. The floor was wet. And I was just sitting on the toilet, and I was like, John, I like yelled at him. I was like, John, my water just broke. And he came in, and guess what he did? The first thing he did, yeah, he high-fived me while I'm sitting on the toilet with my water gushing. And yeah, that was quite a funny moment. But yeah, so my water broke on the Monday night at 9 PM and of the 4th of February, and straight away I rang my midwife, and while I was sitting on the toilet, by the way, I rang her and I said, my water just broke. And I was quite alarmed at the amount of fluid that was coming out, and she said, oh no, that's fine, you can lose quite a bit, like about a litre. And I was like, what? That much? But yeah, I just waited until it's sort of staved off a little bit, and then while I was sitting on the toilet waiting for it to stop, or just, you know, reduce down a little bit, John, my husband, was he was getting my bag ready. I had already packed in his bags and baby's bags. I just put a little piece of paper with list stating the final things we needed to get, and put in the bag, like toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, stuff like that. So he got that ready, and as soon as he was ready, I was ready. So we're like, okay, we are going to go to hospital. We're going to meet my midwife there. I had to go straight away because I'm a kidney transplant patient and I'm high risk. So I went to the hospital, and yeah, I got there at about 10, and they put a drip in my hand. I still have a scar from it. First of all, they tried to put it in my right hand, because my left hand has quite a bit of scar tissue just from having so many lures in there. So I tried to put it in my right hand, and it blew. My midwife blew the vein. It wasn't very good. So like, tried to put it right in here, and it blew. Then they tried. Another doctor came, and he said, "Oh, we'll put it in this one," and he insisted, and I said, I can't use that hand. And my midwife sort of stopped him and said, hey, listen, if she says no on that vein, it's no. We have to have her consent before you can do anything. And he said, oh, okay. So he put it in my hand up along here, right there actually, and that hurt so bad because there's no flesh there. It's just skin. Yeah, skin. So he put it in there and it was so sore. Anyway, stayed the night. Around about 4 a.m. my husband went home for a sleep. Around about 4 a.m. I started getting contractions. I was like, yay, I can have a natural labour. I can go into labour naturally. My contractions started. I had contractions for about 2 or 3 hours. I was moved to a labour. At this point I was in the assessment room, and then I was moved to labour and delivery, a labour and delivery suite. So they put me in a room and my contractions stopped. They stopped, and I was kind of devastated. I was trying to get ready to get them to start going before the round started. I was bouncing on the ball, I was walking, I was doing what I could. Then the obstetricians came round and they said, well, let's try the prostaglandin gel to see if we can get you into labour, straight away, naturally, so you don't have to be induced. Actually, my obstetrician the night before had suggested I get induced straight away at 9 a.m. the next morning, but this one said we'll try and get you into labour naturally. I sort of didn't want to because it had already been 12 hours since my water broke, so I was kind of against the clock. So I was but the doctor that examined me, she was so rough. She was literally shoving me up the bed. Like, it was the most painful examination I have ever had. I haven't had many, but it was freaking painful. And so she did that, put the prostaglandin gel on my cervix, and we hoped. During the day I walked up and down the flights of stairs in the hospital twice, to the top, bottom. I did squats. I slept during the day as well, because I only had about 3 hours sleep during the night. I slept about an hour or two during the day, so in total I had about 5 hours sleep. And that, the next day, on the Tuesday, and didn't go into labour naturally. They decided, okay, we are going to induce you. We don't want to examine you because no matter what the outcome is, you're not in labour, we're going to induce you. So here I went to put me into a room at sort of 6:30 that night. I went straight to labour and delivery room. They put me on, you guys call it oxytocin, we call it syntocin. Oh, in America it's oxytocin. Well, it's the same thing, syntocin, oxytocin. Yeah, they started that. Immediately my contractions started. Minute long, 10 seconds apart. That was like literally like running into a brick wall at 100 kilometers an hour. It was so painful, and I didn't get into established labour for about 2.5 hours, and I was just dealing with these hard contractions, a minute long, 10 seconds in between them. Oh my god, it was horrible. That's why I like going into labour naturally, because they slowly build and your body gets used to it. Induction, not so nice. After 2.5 hours, I was on gas and air, and I said, no, I need something. I need an epidural. And they, I was going to get the pethidine, but then they said, because you're a kidney transplant patient, the pethidine is not recommended. Because they say don't use it if you have renal impairment or kidney disease or anything like that. So the obstetrician decided, no, we'll put you straight onto a epidural, because it would be mean to give you pethidine and then later on an epidural when you're in serious pain. And I was like, this is not serious. But yeah, so the anaesthetist came up. He tried 4 times to get the epidural in. He went lower each time, and apparently my spine is very, he said that my bones were really close together, so the spaces were really quite narrow. He kept hitting bone, and he had to go lower and lower and lower. So he finally got it in. He allowed himself a lot of like when they put it in, it's like a little thin catheter. They put it in. The only thing that hurt was the actual the local anesthetic, which is just like a bee sting. It wasn't that bad, but having to sit there 4 attempts with contractions lasting a minute, 10 seconds in between them, very, very still, as still as you can, is like the most horrible feeling. So, yeah, he finally got that in. He finally got the epidural in, and he started. It took 5.5 hours, my whole established labour. 5.5 hours for it to start working. I had just one-sided, I had elephant leg on one side, the other leg was still perfectly fine. It was absolutely horrible. It was just the most painful thing, and I couldn't move, and I was stuck in the bed with these horrible contractions. My husband, at one point, he just said, I can't do that. He just said, no more kids, because this is just it's just too horrific for him and for me. He didn't like seeing me in pain and all that, so he was like, no more kids. This is all we're having. But obviously that passed. After that, at about midnight, they examined me. Remember I started induction at 6:30. Midnight I was only 3 centimetres, but I was 75% effaced. And I was like, oh no, but luckily the epidural kicked in. The anaesthetist kept coming back up to try and get the right dosage, the right mix, and he finally did, and it worked, and I slept. I finally slept for 2.5 hours during my active labour, which was quite good actually. 2.5 hours later, about 2:30 in the morning, they decided, we're just going to empty your bladder with a catheter, just an in and out one. So they tried. Okay, that one's not working. So they tried the Foley one, the thicker, but the one they leave in. They tried that one, couldn't get it in. They said, oh, maybe baby's just moved down and her head's in the way. So they went and examined me, and they're like, you're fully dilated. Do you want to push her out now? And I was like, oh my goodness, I fully dilated in 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours going from 3 to 10 is pretty good. I slept through it. So they rang my midwife, and I was just, she took about 20 minutes to get there. I was lying in the bed, just letting my contractions do the work, like bring her even further down, so I didn't have to do that much pushing. And I haven't had much sleep, so I was pretty exhausted, and so was my husband. And finally my midwife was there. She's like, okay, we are going to push this baby out, and it's gonna all be good. So I pushed for 20 minutes with an epidural, first baby, and she was out. It was the most amazing birth. I loved it. It was so it was just amazing. When she came out and they put her on my chest, both my husband and I cried our eyes out. We were just so happy. She weighed 3.19 kilograms, which is about 7 pounds 2 ounces, I'm not exactly sure, and she measured 49 centimeters long. So she's a long baby, very long baby. And at her last scan, she was actually measuring a head. She was measuring 8 pounds 1 ounce, but they're off obviously. So she was a really good weight for her gestational age at 38 weeks 3 days. She was born the next morning at 3:52 a.m. on the 6th of February. And the 6th of February in New Zealand is Waitangi Day. Waitangi Day is like the Remembrance Day, or the day New Zealand became a country, basically. So the 6th of February is a holiday in New Zealand. So she was born on a public holiday, which means every birthday she is going to be she's just gonna be off school and have her family with her to celebrate her birthday, and I'm so grateful for that. So yeah, she was born, and at 7 or 8 that morning I was moved to the ward. She was I stayed during the day and that night, and the next morning I went home. I am astonished at how fast I could walk and feel good. I didn't tear at all. Because I listened to my midwife. My midwife said, stop, just breathe. I did. It was the most, the birth was just amazing. It was so controlled and so calm. It was really calm. I really loved it. And so that was that. And we brought her home. and now she is 1 week and 4 days old. And yeah, so that was my labour and delivery. So far postpartum, I am astonished at how fast I've recovered. I have no more tenderness. I still have lochia, which is, you know, the postpartum bleeding. It's not bad, it's just weird. Because I've never bled like this before, so it's weird for me, but it's just like mucus, like blood tinged mucus, basically. It's gross. Breastfeeding is going well so far. She latched within half an hour of being born, which is amazing. She stayed on my chest for an hour after she was born, and then they weighed and measured her and all sorts. Breastfeeding is going well so far. She's gaining weight, although I'm having a little bit of a problem with my left boob. It's kind of, yeah, it gets engorged a lot easier, and she doesn't like feeding from that one. She likes feeding from the right one. And yeah, it's just a weird boob. I like my right one better. And so far, as far as doctor's appointments have gone, I just have my midwife come to my house like once a week, just to do checkups on me and baby. And she also talks through any problems I have, you know, anything like that. She comes to your house, which is cool. I really like that. My next appointment is Monday the 25th, and that's with my renal team. So as far as doctor's appointments go, not many. Apparently the kidney's working really well at recovery, getting all the fluids off. I gained 22 kgs during my pregnancy. So far I have lost 13. So far I've lost 13 kilograms, and I've still got 9 to go to my pre-pregnancy weight. I have a feeling I'm going to plateau at about 5 kilograms to go, and then I'm going to have to work that 5 off, but I don't care. I have a beautifully healthy baby. So far that is it. I will show you my belly at the moment. Mind you, it is end of the day. At the end of the day, it's bigger than at the beginning of the day, because I've been eating. I get a little bit bloated and all sorts. So this, I just want to tilt this so I can see. This is on the side. This is the non-kidney side, so the kidney's on the inside of my pelvis right there, but on the other side. So this is 1 week and 4 days postpartum. And my hip bone is right there. So I have a little bit of a pooch, but when I pinch it, it's just skin and my guts. So it's just my muscles need to tone back up. And then from the front, and then from the other side. So this side is where the kidney is. You can see it sticks out more because the kidney is sticking out. My muscles need to tone to bring that back in. So kidney sticks out on this side. On this side it's more normal. So yeah, that is me so far postpartum. So this is the 3rd video out of 3. I'm going to link down below to the other 2 I made before this, and I'm also going to link down below to my husband's channel, which is our family channel. He has made 1 or 2 videos so far, so please go and subscribe because I'm in that one as well. And there will be more life updates and things about what we're doing in our family and all sorts. This will be baby and kidney, basically, for women out there who need advice or anything like that. So if you have any questions or video suggestions, leave them down below. I will reply to you, and I will make the biggest effort to do those videos for you. I'm going to be making videos I'm going to make videos twice a week. Updates Monday and Friday. Today is Sunday, so I'll count this as a Monday video. So you'll probably see me either next Thursday or Friday. I'll probably make another video before next Friday because I'm so excited about being back on my channel. So just go ahead and leave comments below, questions, anything. So yeah, and I will see you guys next video. Bye for now, and it is good to be back, really. It is really good. Bye.